a setback for the Congress as far as perception is concerned. Electorally, it is obviously not a setback. Pooja Shali has more on that story. Pooja, take us through that letter that Anil Antony has put out as his resignation. It's out, and he speaks about the fact that this is a trek of love. In spite of the trek of love, there is intolerance.
It's absolutely bizarre what's unfolding within the Congress party right now, because what we are looking at is one of the young netas, and he's not just any neta. He is the son of former Defence Minister A.K. Antony, son of former Chief Minister of Kerala A.K. Antony, and therefore comes from a political family. Here's what he had said barely 24 hours ago. Despite large differences with the Bharatiya Janata Party, he's accepting that he's not on same line ideologically. But I think those in India placing views of the BBC, which is a British state-sponsored channel with a long history of prejudice against India, and Jack Straw, the brain behind the Iraq war. Jack Straw's report is being quoted in this BBC docu-series, and if you are going to trust them rather than the institutions within our country, established institutions like the Supreme Court, this could set a dangerous precedent and could undermine our sovereignty. This is what he had put out. Looks like a very rational tweet, likely ruffled a few feathers within the Congress party. But barely 24 hours ago, this is what Anil K. Antony had to put out. It looks that he sounds heartbroken, surprised and agitated, and he says, kindly consider this as my resignation letter. I would like to thank everyone, especially Kerala state leadership and Shashi Tharoor. But this is where he then goes on to mention, by now I've been made well aware that you, your colleagues, the coterie around the leadership are only keen to work with a bunch of sycophants and chamchas. Very strong words. Who would unquestionably be at your beck and call. This has become the lone criteria of merit. So merit is not your political leadership, but being a chamcha and a sycophant within the Congress party. And then he goes on to say, as I quoted here, that I cannot be fed with this negativity anymore. I'm forced to put in my resignation letter. This, remember, is going to raise a lot of questions, because where he ends it with is where the punch is. He says that while I focus on my professional endeavors, those involved in destructive narratives, many are against the very core interests of India. These, I strongly believe, will end in the dustbin of history of time. But in his tweet, he also says that those who are supporting the trek of love, what is the trek of love? The Bharat Jodo Yatra. Those who are supporting it have flooded my posts on social media and have personally also told me, then first I need to retract this tweet and then negativity. Then remember, is he targeting the leadership at the Kerala state level or at the national level too? Because when I spoke to him a short while ago and I asked him, will he be able to give details of who called him up or who's asking him to apologize or is angry or is showing intolerance, he said, I cannot reveal the names right now, but in due course of time, I will. Remember, the Congress needs young netas. It needs fresh blood. That's what Rahul Gandhi's whole agenda was. But if netas one by one, including that of Anil Antony, who just said, let us not fall into the trap of BBC, has to put forth this resignation letter. He's only mentioned Shashi Tharoor for his support, but he then goes on to say, complete negativity, sycophants and chamchas. Over to you, Sneha.
Well, absolutely. Be with us. I'm going to come back to you for more on that. There's a Twitter tweet, in fact, that he's put out, and also the resignation letter, clearly talking about the fact that there is intolerance essentially within the Congress party. With us for more details on that, Shibi, as far as electoral politics is concerned, Anil Antony in that sense wasn't really a mass leader or is not really, dabbled in electoral politics also as much as one would see this as a setback to electoral politics. But as a matter of perception, this is a huge setback, criticizing the Bharat Jodo Yatra as it is towards its end, and also talking about intolerance within the Congress party.
Well, Sneha, absolutely. Like you said, electorally, this is not going to make an impact on Congress. But when it comes to, like you said, the perception, with somebody raising their voice and a freedom of expression, a freedom of speech, when that is being expressed, an action from the Congress side like this is something that will definitely be a black mark for the Congress. But another thing that matters here is he's the son of former Defence Minister A.K. Antony, former Chief Minister of Kerala A.K. Antony, who still is a very, very important factor when it comes to the Congress's national leadership. Like even right now, when the Congress presidential polls was going on, and when there was a lot of lack of clarity, the former Congress President Sonia Gandhi called A.K. Antony to Delhi to discuss the matter. So even when he's not very active in the politics right now, A.K. Antony's words and his inputs really matter to the party. So in that case, his son coming out and making a statement like that, going against the party stand yesterday and today submitting his resignation, is definitely going to have an impact on the Congress party. We will have to get a reaction from them on what actually led to, on what their stand is or what is their version in this. But yes, in fact, recently A.K. Antony said that there is a need to bring out all the religious people, all the religions together. If we have to fight against the BJP in 2026, we have to make an impact. So that's the kind of involvement A.K. Antony as a leader still has. So his son coming out, making a statement against the party's top leadership is definitely going to have a huge impact.
All right, certainly. Be with us, Shibi. I'm coming back to you in a moment from now. And this is what Rahul Gandhi had to say about the BBC document critical of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
If you read Bhagavad Gita or you read the Upanishads, you will see in it it's written that the truth cannot be hidden. The truth always comes out. You can control the institutions, you can use CBI, ED, all this stuff. But the truth is the truth. Truth shines bright. It has a nasty habit of coming out. So no amount of banning and oppression and frightening people is going to stop the truth from coming out.